Hi and welcome to the channel. I'm Laura. Today's practice is a full-length upper body flow, working into the arms and especially the upper back. We're going to get started right away, working into the wrists to warm them up just a little bit because we will have some time on the wrists today. Always a good idea to keep the wrists nice and healthy and warmed up for your practice, especially if you're working to a lot of arm balances or upper body stuff. So we'll start in tabletop with the shoulders over the wrists and the fingertips are facing forward. From here, let's just go ahead and start to ease the weight forward and then back. Doesn't need to be too much. Remember, you have several small bones in the wrists and a lot of nerves and tendons running into a very small space. So we don't want to go past any point. We don't want to create irritation into that joint. From here, we're going to spin the fingertips out to the side edges of the mat and just move from side to side. Now from side to side, we're going to spin the fingertips around, face them towards the knees, and then you can stay right here if you're already feeling a nice stretch, or if you'd like, you could start to peel the heel of the hand off, bending the elbow one hand at a time, and then lowering the wrist slowly back down to the mat. Stretching into the fingers, getting a little bit deeper into the wrist. Really good healthy regimen to keep into your practice at least once a week, warming up into the wrists. We'll just spend a short time here. Let's spin the fingertips around. Again, coming into tabletop, we'll take a first knuckle push-up. So from here, we're going to just start to lift the heels of the hands off of the mat. So our weight is really onto that first knuckle of the fingers, and then slowly lower down. If you need to, you can do this one hand at a time instead of trying to take both at once. You might feel a lot of pressure into the fingers, stretching into the front of the hand, creating strength into the fingers. One last fingertip push up, and then lower down. From here, let's go ahead and sit back onto the heels. You can interlace the fingers, flip the palms out, press them away from you, stretch the back as you curve and round the shoulders, and then release the hands down. From here, we're going to take a seated scapular push-up. So again, staying seated onto your heels, we're going to take the hands out in front of us with the palms facing each other. The shoulders are down and away from the ears, so they're relaxed. But from here, we're going to keep the torso where it's at, but just start to shift the shoulder blades forward. So we're protracting the shoulder blades. They are separating along the upper back. The chest starts to curve in. Reach, 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 reach with the fingertips. And then from here, we're going to come back through neutral, start to draw the shoulder blades together, retract the shoulder blades. Imagine pinching a small pencil in between the shoulders. And then again, we're going to come forward, reach, round, widen the shoulder blades in the back line of the body. Exhale, let's retract. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Activate the upper back muscles. Reach. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. It's not a huge movement, but the more that you activate into the upper body and squeeze the shoulder blades together, the more you're going to start to feel this. And later on in our practice, we're going to try this posture in a plank position. So we'll get to feel it in a different way. We'll take one more. Let's go ahead and squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then relax the arms down. Very good. Give the shoulders a little shrug. And when you're ready, we're going to come through tabletop, tuck the toes, and push back into downward facing dog. Pausing here in our downward facing dog, especially if this is our first down dog of the day, you can go ahead and pedal out the feet. Start to breathe and feel into the posture. Heels can be lifted. You're going to want to make sure that you're driving the hands down into the mat and spreading the shoulders out wide. Pushing into the mat. Feeling the front portion of the armpit, trying to reach lower and lower as the hips lift higher into the sky. From here, you can step or hop to the front of your mat. I'm going to step as my board likes to slip on the carpet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let's fold forward over the legs. And then on the next inhale, we're going to bend the knees, rise up to standing. Let's lift the arms up. Give us a nice big stretch, maybe a slight back bend. Exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. We're going to start the practice by warming up with 3 sun salutations. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, swan dive forward, fold over the legs. Inhale up, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump back. Exhale, lower, bending the elbows, chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, lift the hips, push back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. And when you're ready, let's step the left foot forward. Join it with the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding over the legs. Start to bend the knees. Inhale, lift up. Rise up. Draw the hands down through heart center. On the next inhale, lift the arms up for our next sun salutation. Exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the hands, step or jump the feet back to plank. Exhale, coming down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Pausing in your down dog for 3 breaths. Gaining the breath, following the movement with your breath. On the next inhale, you can step or hop the feet to the hands, come to flat back, and then exhale, folding over the legs. Inhale, slight bend in the knees as you root down to rise up, coming up in your Tadasana pose, drawing the hands down through heart center. Inhale the arms up. Last round here, exhale, folding over the legs. Inhale, halfway is left. Exhale, plant the hands, move the feet back, and then come through your plank to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pausing here for 1 moment. From downward facing dog, we're going to shift forward, come onto the toes, and come into plank. So as we did those scapular movements in our hero pose, we're going to attempt that in plank as well. So we're going to keep the length of the body, the legs in the same shape, but we're going to change the upper body by allowing just the torso, the chest, to drop down and lower as the shoulder blades come back and join, and try to pinch that pencil like we did in a kneeling position. If you'd like, you can lower your knees here as well and come into more of a tabletop or extended tabletop position, if that helps you focus on the upper body a little more easily. Whichever shape you're in, staying strong and stable, we're going to lower the chest, allow the shoulder blades to squeeze together, and then push up, rounding into the upper back, really pushing yourself away from the mat. And then let's lower the chest, join the shoulder blades. Push away from the mat. I'm really pushing, drawing, moving the chest away, hollowing out the chest. And then allowing the chest to fall, shoulder blades to come together. Push away, and then release. Draw the shoulder blades, squeeze the upper body, stay tight in the core. Let's push away. We'll take 2 more. Last one. We'll push and round, and then start to lift the hips, shift the hips back, come into your downward facing dog. Take a moment, take a small break in your downward dog. You can also come into child's pose here, rest the shoulders. On the next inhale, let's lift the left foot up for a 3-legged dog. Exhale, draw the left foot up and in between the hands. Come up to high lunge on the left side. From here, we're going to take just a short flow. Feel a little stretch into the arms and into the upper body. Inhale. And on an exhale, we're going to twist to the left. So the right arm comes in front. Fingertips or palms are facing down. Inhale, we're going to reverse our twist. The left hand can come to the left thigh. To the right thigh. The back of the right leg stays strong. Reach up and over with the right arm if you'd like. You can also take a hold, if you have your balance, of the right wrist with the left hand. Really stretch into that left arm, left shoulder. Go ahead and release. Come back to the twist. Inhale, back to our high lunge. From high lunge, we're going to lower the right hand down onto the mat. And then open up, come into an easy twist. The left arm up to the sky. Pause here, inhale. And exhale. From your easy twist, we're going to start to step the left foot back. Join it with the right and come into side plank. Holding in your side plank. Right shoulder above the right wrist. Inhale. And exhale. Taking an exercise in our side plank, we're going to draw the left elbow to the left knee for 1. Extend. Draw them together for 2. Extend for 3 and reach. 4, reach. Try to stay lifted in the hips. Last one, 5. Reach it out. Lift that left foot up and then place it behind you, coming into a wild thing. Lifting the hips, reaching out with the left fingertips. Stretching. And when you're ready, we're going to slowly come through side plank, come into plank, and then push back into our downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Let's take another inhale through the nose. Exhale, release it through the mouth. From our downward facing dog, can you lower both of the forearms at the same time to come into dolphin? From dolphin, we're going to take the hands so that the fingertips are overlapping and the forearms are at a diagonal. If you can, step the feet in just slightly. Still separated hip width apart, but just a little closer if you can narrow your stance. Push into the forearms for your dolphin. And we're going to take some nose dives with our dolphin pose. So from dolphin, we're going to shift forward. Aim to get the nose in between the fingertips in that little space you created for 1. Push back into dolphin. Dive down for 2. Push back. Reach and dive for 3. Push. 4. And back to dolphin. 5. And back. 6. And back. 7. Push back. You got 3 more. 8. And push. 9. Back to dolphin. Last one. Back to dolphin. Pause here. Inhale. And exhale. From our dolphin, we're going to just walk the feet back. Separate the forearms. So we come into forearm plank for a 30-second hold. Lift with the hips. Stay strong in the core. And breathe. From here, we're going to come up to plank, push back into downward facing dog. Pause in your downward facing dog. Also a nice time to take child's pose if you would like to come off your arms and shoulders for a moment. We're going to breathe. Take this moment to relax. When you're ready, come back into downward facing dog. We'll all reach and join each other. As we reach the right foot up to the sky for three-legged dog, draw it in. Come up to your high lunge. Now on the right side. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Open to the left, to your right. The left hand goes forward. Moving the upper body, getting a nice twist here. Enjoy it as we get a little stretch. Inhale, reverse the twist. Lift the left arm up overhead. Stretch from your hip flexor all the way to the left pinky. If you like, you could also take a reach for that left wrist with your right hand. Stretching even further. When you're ready, release the hold. If you had it, come back in your twist. Inhale, come back to high lunge, facing the front. Exhale, lower the left hand down to the mat, and then twisting to the right for your easy twist. The right knee is still over the right ankle. Gaze comes up to the sky. Stay strong, push into that left heel. And then from here, transition into side plank, stepping the right foot back to meet the left. Staying lifted in the hips, strong in the core, pushing into that left shoulder so that we're not falling into it. From here, we'll take those 5 knee to elbow moves and then draw the knee in. Trying to keep the balance. Extend the right arm overhead. Draw the knee in. Extend. 3. Extend. 4. And reach. 5. And reach it out. From here, let's lift the right foot. Bring it behind us. Flip our dog for a wild thing. Reach with the right fingertips. Lift the hips. And then when we're ready, we'll come through side plank. Return to plank pose. The arms and the shoulders are probably getting pretty tired. Again, if you want to lower onto your knees, that is always an option. From here, we'll take some shoulder taps, 2 rounds of 10. So starting with the right hand to the left shoulder, left hand to right shoulder. Alternate left to right for 10, 9, trying to stay steady in the torso, trying not to shift the hips too much, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another round of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Push back into your downward facing dog. Relax. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth. One other cleansing breath like that. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth. On the next inhale, let's shift forward. Come through plank. Chaturanga lower. Hold. Pause in your chaturanga for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then lower all the way to the mat. Let's take a moment here in Sphinx pose. Widen the feet. Allow the fingertips to come out at a slight diagonal. Sorry if I feel a little extra out of breath. I'm still getting over a chest cold that just does not want to go away. From our Sphinx pose, we're going to move into an upper body sequence that I think in physical therapy is called your A's, your T's, and your Y's. So if you have done these before, you might be familiar. We're going to lower down onto our belly. And then from here, we'll take the arms down to a low, for me, it would be like a low V. But if you look from above, it looks like the letter A. So the thumbs are pointing upward. And then we're going to lift the chest slightly, about 1 or 2 inches. It's going to depend on your strength in your upper back. And then from here, we're going to take some arm lifts. Lifting the arms, maybe another 3 or 4 inches, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Lifted in the chest, lifted in the arms. From here, keep the chest lifted, lower the arms only. And then reach up for 1, lower, reach for 2, lower, 3, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lower, 4, down, 5, keep breathing, 6, 7, probably feeling the triceps fire up, 8, 9, 10. Hold. Arms and chest lift. Maybe lift a little bit higher for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and lower down. Allow the forehead to come to rest on the back of the hands. Inhale. And exhale, relax. We're going to move into the next shape. Arms out at a T. Or if you're like me and you are lacking space, or if you want to take it a little easier, you'll have the arms in a cactus shape. So the elbows at a 90 degree. So harder at a T. If you're lacking space or want to take it a little easier, bring the elbows to a T or to a 90 degree shape. Again, lift the torso, maybe lift it about 1 or 2 inches off the mat. The gaze is down so that we're not arching the neck. And from here, we're going to lift the palms facing down. Lift up a little higher with the chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lower down slightly. Don't come all the way down to the mat. I want you to keep a slight engagement lifted. We'll bring everything up a little higher. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lower down. Lift up, squeeze. If you have the elbows bent, draw the elbows back behind the back. Lower down. We'll go for 5. Stay controlled. Slow movement. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Hold. Stay lifted. Keeping the shoulders engaged. Drawing together. If your arms are out at a T and they're getting tired, you can bend the elbows. And then let's release the forehead to the back of the hands. Allow everything to relax, even the muscles in the face and the forehead. We're going to move into our last round. So the arms will be extended out in front of us at a diagonal into our Y shape. Thumbs are facing up. Chest is lifted about 1 or 2 inches. These will be the hardest because the arms are extended out and above the head. So it's this heavier lever that we're attempting to lift. From here, we're going to lift the chest as much as we can. Lift the thumbs up. We're not squeezing the shoulder blades together as we were in the last two, but we're lifting the thumbs up, lifting the arms, and then lower down. Lift up. Strengthening the upper back and lower. Up for 3 and down. Lifting up for 4. Lower. 5. We're halfway there and down. It doesn't need to be a huge movement. Just make sure that you're engaging the upper body. Feet should be spread wide on the mat so that we're not pinching into the lower back. Last 3. 2. 1. Hold it for 5. 4. Stay lifted. 3. 2. 1. Very good. Bring the hands back. Let the forehead rest. Allow the shoulders and the upper back to release. Take a nice deep breath. Fill up the back side of the lungs. And allow the outgoing breath to let yourself melt into the mat. When you're ready, we're going to take the hands underneath the shoulders, push ourselves back, and come into a narrow-legged child's pose. Extend the arms out in front of you. Rest the forehead down to the mat. And when I do a lot of upper body work, I do like to come into rabbit pose to stretch into the neck and to also the back, the traps, the bigger muscles. It feels just delicious to stretch into that part. So from our child's pose, you're going to keep the low body, the knees and the hips to start where they're at. But you're going to start to draw. Go ahead and bring your hands in closer to you. You're going to have the head quite close to the knees, maybe about 4 or 5 inches away. And then slightly pick the hips up so you can bring the very crown of the head to rest onto the mat. I'm supporting myself with my hands right now just outside of my knees so I can feel the posture. So the neck and the back of the neck is starting to stretch here, and you have the crown seated into the mat. We're going to make this deeper by taking a hold of the heels. Again, you may need to adjust where the crown of the head is. Maybe bring it a little closer into the knees. After you get a hold of the heels, start to lift the hips a little higher, and you'll feel a great big stretch down the back, the entire chain of the spine. I'm still lifted and open into the front of the throat. As you can tell, because it's quite easy for me to still talk in this position. I'm hollowing out the front of the chest, drawing the navel in, really curling, tucking the tailbone under as I lift the hips to get this great big stretch. Go ahead and keep breathing. And then let's lift, or lower, I should say, the hips back down to the mat. Slowly tuck the tailbone in, and then rise up to hero pose. From hero pose, we'll take just another shoulder stretch to close out the class. We'll interlace the fingers behind us, draw the knuckles down, lift the chest, stretching into the front of the shoulders. Maybe lift the hands, the knuckles, farther away from the body. Go ahead and release the interlace of the fingers. Shake out the shoulders, shake out the hands if needed. And from here, we're going to take reverse prayer. So join the fingers and the palms together. Work them at the back, right at the center line of your bra straps. And from here, we're going to relax and come back to a normal breath. Try to slow down the breath. Find more ease as we relax and get this nice little stretch in the shoulders and the palms and the wrist to close out the practice. It's a very heated practice in a short amount of time, requiring balance and strength, body awareness. So as always, if you find it a challenge, come back to it. Stay playful. Enjoy the process and the journey. If you lose your balance and stumble, come back, join back in a moment later. When you're ready, release the joint of the hands and allow the palms to just rest on the top of the thighs here. Take a nice inhale in. Exhale, release. That is it for today's very fast and strength building class into the upper body and into the shoulders. It's very intense into the upper back. So if you feel it between your shoulder blades today or tomorrow, we did a lot. That squeezing of drawing the shoulders together, the retraction of the shoulders, and having that mindful movement is going to build up strength into the upper body and really help strengthen into your shoulder girdle, into your upper body muscles. That upper body awareness is going to be so helpful, especially if you work on your computer a lot or sit at a desk a lot. We tend to be quite tight up here and overall might start losing some strength as we get older. So these types of classes are so important. I hope you enjoyed it. You'll find lots more classes like this on my channel. So hit that subscribe button. You'll see new classes here every single Sunday. As always, I hope you have a great day, a great week. Make it a good one. Bye.